Hi, I'm Caden, here with my brother,
Cal,
and you're watching Eating W's.
eat the W.
That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W.
On today's episode of Eating W's, we have our NFL Week 11 predictions. But before we jump into those predictions, just a quick update on our head-to-head pick'em game. Cal and I both had pretty good weeks last week, him picking up 10 total points and me only picking up 8 total points, putting our totals on the season of me with 95 and Callan with 91. So that gap just seems to slowly shrink every week. Sometimes I'll win a week, but he's closing in on me, I'm not gonna lie. Gotta wipe the sweat off my forehead. It's getting nerve-wracking.
If I'm not on the comeback trail, it's just not fun for me.
Exactly.
So, you gotta make it interesting all season.
If I can just keep tying even, I'm fine with that. I just gotta hold this lead. But speaking of ties, we'll probably see a tie this week because there is not very many good matchups.
No.
Comparative to last week where almost every matchup had some sort of storyline or exciting part about it, this week very little of them even seem to matter in our eyes. But we're going to talk about them either way. The games that are going to be fun should still be fun. So starting off with the Thursday night game, we have the Tennessee Titans heading to Green Bay to take on the Packers in a split here. I have the Titans and Callan has the Packers.
I'm back on the train for the Packers. I think they're gonna start rolling here. If you saw yesterday's episode, I said that this is the last week was the game that gets them on this roll and they get on a playoff run. I really think that they continue and run the table here for quite a while. If they found a formula that works with running Aaron Jones and getting him going good, and Christian Watson, if he's able to continue to do anything close to what he did last week, then that'll be great production. We also have Randall Cobb coming back this week, so that'll be interesting to see. Unfortunately, we did have to let go of Amari Rodgers, but we got a new punt returner in D.D. Westbrook, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. As long as he can just catch it and hold on to it, that's all we ask, really. I mean, don't drop the ball.
It's something the last guy couldn't seem to do.
No, poor Amari Rodgers. He had more career fumbles than career catches. So, hopefully just a change of scenery somewhere. He was really good in college, so hopefully a change of scenery for him, will better off for him.
More career fumbles and catches. That's a tough one to come back from. If he can get any sort of career going after that start, it's actually highly impressive. But I have the Titans in this one because pretty much solely Derrick Henry. You guys are missing Rashad Gary on your defensive line. I think Derrick Henry is going to have a huge game, and it's going to get into a situation that's going to force the Packers to pass. I think they're going to kind of not get overly behind, but get to a point where they start passing a little more and they're a little more panicked, which with those receivers, we haven't really seen them in that situation yet. Well, we've seen him in that. I should say we haven't seen him thrive in that situation yet because, like you just mentioned, Christian Watson and the offense, passing-wise as a whole, played well against the Cowboys, but they're never really in a situation where they were forced to pass. They got down by, I think, 2 touchdowns at one point, but that's not like a bad force to pass. But when you're going against a team like the Titans where they're going to get up by a touchdown or 2 and continue to just chew so much time off that clock, then you start getting some of that pressure. So overall, I think the Titans are just going to win purely through game management. They're going to be able to pick up a win.
If we can keep Derrick Henry under 200 yards, we got a chance.
Yep. Yeah. If he gets over 200, it is beyond over. So next up, jumping down to a divisional matchup, we have the New York Jets heading to New England to take on the Patriots, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the second time in 3 weeks, again, that we've seen a divisional matchup, which is kind of weird. But we got a split in this one. I have the Jets in this one. Callan has the Patriots as his upset.
I mean, I can't believe that the Patriots aren't favored here. I mean, how many times have I said it? Belichick knows how to beat the Jets. The Jets came off that huge win a couple of weeks ago, lost to the Patriots, and looked bad in doing it. Zach Wilson looked like he saw all those ghosts that Sam Darnold saw. I mean, the Patriots just know how to beat the Jets, or Bill Belichick does at least. I mean, and he loves torturing the Jets ever since, way back in the day with Bill Parcells. So until the Jets can prove to me that they can beat Bill Belichick, I'm going to keep picking Belichick against the Jets.
It does seem like Patriots know how to beat the Jets. They have some sort of hold on them. But Robert Saleh has been taking names, keeping checks, and cashing them all year. So I think he's going to find a way to pick up a win. And the first win against the Patriots in a long time for the Jets is going to be in Foxborough.
That'll be
just
huge
to really
for their momentum.
just drive that dagger right into the heart of Belichick and the Patriots. Don't have all the confidence in the world in them. I'll be the first to say it, but I'm still picking them. I'm going to back them. Jets, Jets. I got them here this week. So next up, we are going to jump down the list a little more again and head to another divisional matchup in the AFC West this time with the Las Vegas Raiders heading to Denver to take on the Broncos in yet another split. Callan has the Broncos in this one, and I have the Raiders as my upset. The Raiders have not shown any reason for me to pick them here. And to be completely honest, that's pretty much why I'm picking them. The NFL this year has been absolutely insane, almost completely unpredictable in some circumstances. So why not see the Raiders pick up a win here? They have the roster. I don't trust their coaching staff at all, but they have the players on their rosters. The Broncos have been struggling, to say the least, this year. Big divisional matchup. Why not go into Denver, go into Mile High, and pick up what would probably be the closest thing to a statement win the Las Vegas Raiders will get this entire season?
Yeah, the Raiders haven't won since they beat the Texans a few weeks ago, and that's not a very big statement win. But what a circle of life it would be if the Raiders do win. Because the Broncos beat the Colts, Colts beat the Raiders, so Raiders beat the Broncos.
Math.
So I don't know. Maybe I need to change my pick, but
Too late.
It's the way that the Broncos played they had the bye week last week. The way they played 2 weeks ago looked like they were finally getting back on track with Russell Wilson. So I believe that being at home, that this is a big statement win for them against the Raiders.
Yep. And then moving on, we got an NFC matchup this time with the Dallas Cowboys heading to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, and we agree here. We both have the Vikings in this one. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous. They're going to be coming off of a big-time loss in Green Bay last week. They're going to have a fire under their ass, and they're going to want to get their season back on track. If this is in Dallas, I am terrified right now. I'm not going to lie. But we're at home. We play really well at home. The Cowboys have shown cracks in their armor. I can see Dalvin Cook finally breaking out and having that big game that he's really needed to have all season. And I'm feeling just confident enough to really feel good about the Vikings this week.
Yeah, and McCarthy does not have a good record against Minnesota, especially in Minnesota. So that's another good thing going for you guys. Plus, I believe that Dalvin Cook will have a big game. As you can see from last week, the rushing attack is one of the weaknesses for the Dallas defense, and it really slowed up that pass rush with a strong running game.
Yep. So last year when we went against the Cowboys, they pretty well effectively shut down Justin Jefferson, and it was impressive, I won't lie. But I think they're going to try to do that again, and I think that for the most part they will succeed. I could see Justin Jefferson only getting 4 or 5 catches for 60, 80 yards, which for him is pretty much shut down comparatively. Yeah. It's pretty good to say that that's shut down for him. But because they're going to have to focus on Jefferson so much, that's why I see Cook and other people on offense really stepping up.
And it's Dak Prescott, not Cooper Rush.
Yeah, so we are much worse against Cooper Rush than we are Dak Prescott, because that makes sense. Next up, we have an AFC North divisional matchup with the Cincinnati Bengals heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, and another split in this one. I have the Steelers, and Callan has the Bengals.
Yeah, the Steelers it's just not been their year. They did have a decent win against New Orleans. Kenny Pickett looked like he could finally get going. George Pickens had a good game. But I just believe the Bengals have too much firepower, even without Jamar Chase. Between Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, that's just too much for the Steelers to keep up with, in my opinion. And I think the Bengals get an easy win here.
The Bengals are a very inconsistent team, so I don't want to necessarily say I'm banking on a down week for them.
I think it's going to be the firepower Bengals.
Exactly. I don't want to necessarily say I'm banking on a down week from them, but I'm just banking on not such a high week for them like they have sometimes. But like Callan mentioned, the Steelers picked up their first win with Kenny Pickett last week, and they actually looked pretty decent. Najee got up near 100 yards, just short of it at 99. which is, I want to say, his highest of the season so far, if I'm not mistaken. Pickens really got involved. That Pickett to Pickens connection looks like it might be something real for the future. So it's kind of a toss-up right here. I don't know. I think I might be a little early on picking the Steelers, but it's in Pittsburgh, so why not give them a chance? I'll see how it goes. Next up, we have our Sunday night football game with the Kansas City Chiefs heading to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, and yet another split. I have the Chargers in this one. Callan has the Chiefs.
Yeah, same kind of concept here where the Chiefs just have too much more firepower than the Chargers. The poor Chargers are worse off than the Packers. They're missing their top 4 wide receivers are down. Their top 2 tight ends. They're only down to, or they still have Austin Eckler, which is a nice piece, but he's not really the kind of piece that's going to score you a ton of points. I mean, he gets touchdowns and all that, but as a running back, he can't do it all. And without any of the other pieces around him, the Chargers have just been kind of flat in recent weeks. Justin Herbert, he's playing through an injury. They kind of remind me of the Browns last year. Now Baker Mayfield played through that injury. Yep. It seems like Justin Herbert's going to play through that rib injury all season, and I just believe that's too much for them to overcome against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I keep picking the Chargers, and I don't know why, because every week it bites me in the ass. I should probably stop doing it.
I keep picking the Saints for the same. It's like, why? But it seems like they should win these matchups.
I want to see the Chargers win. I don't know why. I really like Justin Herbert. There's just a lot of players that I really like on that team, but they can never really seem to find a way to do it. And I hate to fall back on this reasoning again, but kind of like I talked about with the Raiders, I could see the Chargers winning this one. Just because why the hell not? It's so unpredictable. These divisional games, we just saw the Commanders beat the Eagles last week in Philadelphia, which was just insane. This one's even in Los Angeles. It's a good distance trip for the Chiefs. Not the most confident person in the world about this pick, but I really could see it happening because the Chiefs, kind of similar to like I just said with the Bengals, have shown some inconsistencies this year. So if they show up maybe not completely ready and the Chargers get hyped up for a big-time divisional matchup like this, who knows? Any given Sunday.
It's another circle of life game because the Chiefs beat the 49ers, 49ers beat the Chargers, so Chargers should beat the Chiefs.
It's all coming together. I mean, it really is if you look at it.
If this all goes like this, I think we figured out the NFL algorithm.
We got the algorithm. You're right. We figured out the NFL algorithm. So finally, our Monday night football game this week in Mexico City is the San Francisco 49ers heading to Mexico, I guess, to take on the Arizona Cardinals. And yet another split in this one. I have the Cardinals. Callan has the Niners.
I have the Niners based on the Cardinals not playing Kyler Murray. I think that the 49ers are going to have too much of a defensive presence and are really going to pressure Colt McCoy if he's the starter, because he's not nearly as mobile as Kyler Murray. And I believe that if Kyler Murray does play, it'll be a much better game. I still believe the 49ers will win, but I believe that if Colt McCoy is the starter, it'll be a much, much more dominant win for the 49ers.
Yep, I have the Cardinals in this one pretty much just because I'm a stubborn asshole and refuse to pick the 49ers. I don't trust Jimmy G in almost any situation. I just really don't. They've been picking up wins, but never really because of him. No. But I don't know if Kyler will play. To be honest, he probably won't. I think we're going to see the Colt McCoy show. But they got enough receivers around him, even with losing Zach Ertz, because they have rookie Trey McBride. Mm-hmm. But he's got enough weapons around him that if he can just get some momentum going, get a game managed, and then the Cardinals defense can slow down that 49ers offense, and especially that 49ers running attack, I could see this being a lot closer of a game than a lot of people are giving it credit for, and maybe even Arizona pulling out a win by the time it's all said and done. So that's why I have them this week.
I just hope it's an entertaining game. No more of these Thursday night 10-3, 6-7 games.
Yeah, just looking at the matchups this week, I don't have too much confidence in a large slew of entertaining games.
It's a whole week of Thursday night games.
Exactly. So we'll see how it goes. But thank you so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, hit the like button and maybe even think about subscribing. But until next time, don't forget
to eat the W.